Morning sun shines. Feels like a lazy Tuesday morning. I was so lazy to get around this morning, and I've been having, maybe I'm having withdrawal from coffee. I haven't been drinking much coffee. I don't know. I just have no more appetite. So I don't know if that's a phase that you get to with aging, but I been having just tea in the morning, and then I was thinking maybe I'll try some different kind of teas if there's any that I was looking at the names of it, and I thought, I haven't been able to have them because I was getting allergy, from some of them. I would get my sinuses, would be start to dripping and getting a raw throat. So these days you don't want to, oh, just going to grab my headphones. You don't want to get any symptoms. So let's do a health check. Rose, how are you feeling today?
Oh, I'm here. Feeling a lot better.
Oh, that's good. Yeah, I see snow on the mountain, eh?
Yeah, there's snow in the mountain and it's trying to rain now.
Oh, well, I can see across the valley, all over the hill, there's snow coming.
Yeah, there's
So,
supposed to be a big one coming in a few days.
oh, goodness.
Yeah, goodness,
Yeah.
stay in.
Hey.
I still have to stock up on the groceries and stay in when the big snowstorm comes.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I did a big shopping the other day. Um, I made a list, which is always good. And, I go through the week and I see people putting these different kind of recipes or food on Facebook. So I think, oh, gee, it's been a long time since I had that. I'm going to try it. So it was either, buy the frozen stuff or, get some stuff to make it. And I'm starting to appreciate home cooked and not buy frozen. And then I get home and think, oh, I'm too lazy to cook. So I've got, all kinds of stuff for baking. Well, I got some pizza making stuff and, whatever else. And then I bought a pizza mix. I thought, so when I was thinking about pizza, I was, because I've been wishing for pizza, but I ate so much frozen pizza for probably a couple of months last fall or summer. Yeah. Yeah. So how you doing, Dee?
I'm doing good, just tired.
Oh,
I was on the phone with till like 2:30 this morning.
oh,
So
with,
yeah, I'm just tired today.
oh,
My throat's a bit scratchy,
oh,
but I've
well,
been sleeping with the window open a little bit, so that's not helping any.
right. Does your stove get hot?
um Sometimes it feels really warm in here, but it's really weird. It's mostly at the other end of the house that feels the heat more. Like mine in Brighton's room doesn't seem to get as hot as it used to.
Right. Yeah.
I'm not sure why, but because some days I'm sitting in my room, and yesterday I had to put on. I couldn't find any of my sweaters, so I borrowed one of Brighton's, and it's really his is really warm. Now I'm like, I'm so glad I bought him sweaters for Christmas. But other
Yeah.
than that, we're pretty good.
I was, Mom, me and Deanna still challenged with organizing, you know, I think I got my stuff, a little bit organized, but I still have boxes and bins of things. And I always think about you and your how you had things organized in the basement, and you had so much crafts going on, and I think to myself about wishing for good boxes, to nice boxes to put things into, and then putting a label. Well, that's what I was thinking about, was putting a label on the on my containers or on my boxes. And I thought, I don't remember the last time I ever had to go and look for something to use around the house. And I just think, I keep all that stuff just in case. I started making another toolbox because the other day I was looking for my vice grips. I was going to do something with vice grips. And I started doing the same thing again. I started gathering all my tools again. And I thought, what do I need all these tools for? It's not like I'm a carpenter or something, or a handyman. So yeah, just seems like we have so much time at home now. I bet you there's lots of people going through the same thing. And always thinking, oh, I better not throw that away. You never know when it comes in handy. I always think about Grandpa, and I guess Granny had a storage place too. I remember Grandpa used to throw things up on top of the skeka out behind the house there. And, he'd, I guess he had a ladder. He must have had a ladder. I don't remember the ladder, but, he would just take it and toss it up on top of that shed in the back there. Yeah. So how are things going for you, Mom? Is your body still active? Are you still able to get yourself around, move around in the bed and sit up and that? Yeah. Yeah. I can't imagine, what it's like. I think about Auntie Rena, that she would be trying different things. And, when she got into crafts, if sometimes I remember her like as being, kind of, I don't know what the word she liked to, well, she went on that trip with that, she got that job with somebody and working with that rich man, that senior, that I don't know, what could we call him? He was pretty well off. And I remember they said she went with him to companion, I guess you call it. They went to Banff, I think it was. And I remember the story. Maybe that's why we wanted to go to Banff, just to see where it was that she went. But there was a story where she, if you remember when they were leaving and whatever was going on, sounded like he wasn't too cared for. And they were leaving, and I guess he wet his pants, and he was carrying his suitcase in front of him so that they wouldn't see his wet pants. So anyway, those were, when I think about her life, where she had to just pretty much stay put, and now we're in kind of the same thing. I don't know how it is for the rest of you, whether you feel, I'm starting to get more paranoid as I hear, about people getting that COVID, to even be around anybody or anything, and seeing how people don't understand, like, they clean off the buggies at the grocery store, and they put it back in that one place. And I noticed when I was leaving there that people were just putting their buggies they used back in that same place. So getting paranoid, soon I went over and I cleaned my hands inside there before I left there. And then I cleaned my hands, I unloaded my stuff and I cleaned my hands, I got in the car and I just thought, there's been quite a bit, Mom, now, people getting that COVID. What is it? Is it a what are they calling a disease or
A
it's not
virus, pandemic.
virus? Yeah, it's not really like a flu, eh? Yeah.
No, we had, as of Friday, we had 9 cases confirmed on our reserve.
Yeah.
And they had that funeral on the weekend and they took a picture of, I think it was 56 people in the picture. And like 20 or 30 of them weren't wearing masks. And I think 6 of them at least work for the band. They all went back to work Monday. I went to Pure Later last week to pick up a package, and I keep my distance from people. Like they have the X's on the floor, like how far apart you're supposed to be. And I was that far away from the guy in front of me. And I realized he wasn't wearing a mask. So I backed up even more. Like they have a limit of 3 people in there at a time. And when he was leaving, he started yelling at the lady that works there and saying, I just want you guys to know that you forced me to come in here. You wouldn't deliver my package. And she's telling him, we didn't force you to do anything, sir. And I guess they had tried to deliver like 3 times. And if he didn't, because they couldn't deliver it, they only hold him for 5 days before they send him back. And so he's like telling me and the guy behind me in line, they forced me to come in here. They wouldn't deliver my package. I've tested positive for COVID, and I'm supposed to be quarantining at home. So that freaked me out a little. So I ended up calling 811 the next day, and the lady's like, no, you did everything right. You did everything you were supposed to. I was in the same space for like less than 5 minutes with them. She's like, you should be fine. She's like, just self-monitor and go about your daily life. But we're
I'll admit him.
we're definitely being way more careful now.
Good morning, Nathan. We're just doing a morning check-in. It feels like just talking about slow mornings and hair sticking up and I don't know where I got started. Of course, you know me usually. Yeah.
My hair, I sleep with a ponytail. My hair is like sticking up all over the place in little tufts.
Oh, yeah. So, Mom, I was just talking about how precious boxes were. If you could get a box, a half decent box, when we were growing up, that was just a real treasure. And we were talking about Mom's phrase, "Got to get organized," and yeah, I was just talking about starting to do something. I was looking for vice grips or something, and then I'm such a whatever about organizing, so I started to reorganize or gather my tools, and I was thinking, why do I think I need to have all these tools? I've got through the years, I've gathered up a bunch of tools. So anyway, Mom was nodding in agreement when we were talking about organizing. So yeah, so how you doing, Nathan? Go ahead, give us your weather report and is that snow I see in your backyard? Or is that your,
There's a little bit of snow there, not much.
oh,
but just-
nothing coming down,
No,
nothing coming
no.
down yet?
No, I don't think that anything's going to come down. It's about +4 degrees.
Oh, there's snow up on the mountain, you see, coming. It's up in the,
Yeah, but by the time it gets to us, I think it'll be rain.
oh,
It's
right,
forecasted to rain today. So
right.
yeah, I just I don't know. I just got back from my run, so I'm cooling off. So that yeah, it's a weird winter in terms of weather. Just usually I'm still bundled up, but it's still +3 or 4. So it's, but next week apparently it's going to go down to about -8, -9. So I'll have to get really bundled up. I get cold so easily, and I don't get warmed up until I get down to about Paul's place. And then things are all right.
Sounds like the heater on my car. It doesn't get warmed up, even if I run it for 15 minutes, doesn't get warmed up till probably about Loose Creek if I'm going to town. I guess it's being a bigger event, but I guess you must have a pretty minimal body fat. Is that, I know, I'll just tell you this, Nathan, because you don't have the levels that I do. That I always remember Dad, talking about his knees later in years, his knees would get cold. And I remember when that first started happening to me. So yeah, so you would normally be having a hard time getting warmed up anyway.
Well, I have the I don't know what it is. I get cold really quick. My hands get really cold and my feet, and it takes a long time, even with direct heat, to warm them up again. But it's not getting any better. But I just end up being bundled up around the house. I got slippers and I got those really fluffy socks. So yeah, that seems to work. Talking about cold weather, I remember I used to walk over to or run over to Uncle Fred's place and get on the get a ride with him down to school, so I could play sports in the morning before the school started. And I think probably to see Marie as well, because she often got in there early. But when he had this old International truck, and he'd warm it up, but it really wouldn't get warm. And he'd have a little space like that where you could see through, and he'd be going down the road looking through it. And it wouldn't be until we got down to juniors till, there was a little more visibility through the windshield. Yeah, I remember that old truck. Yeah, and I'm still looking through old photos, and I don't know if you have this one, but
Oh,
do you have that one in your collection?
I think I do. Deanna might remember more, but yeah, I've got now. I've gleaned them down. I must have about 4 different versions of the scans, but yeah. But if I don't know, are you scanning still some of your photos?
Oh yeah, we can. And I got I got 2 copies. I can donate a hard copy somewhere.
Oh, okay, sure. Yeah, if you want to put it somewhere or drop it off. I have yeah, I put a poster from when the community that I found in our SCS files and up by the door there. Anyway, I have a chair on my door. You want to put in an envelope and just leave it there?
And is that Paul?
Oh, oh yeah, that is. Mom, is that Paul? Mom, can you see that picture? Yeah. Yeah, that's Paul. And who else is in there?
There's
Granny.
Henry,
John,
Fred Heisen, and John, I think.
John. Yeah, it's John and Tyson and Fred.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Yeah, we should, maybe we'll get that to Mom for her wall. I don't
Yeah.
think Mom's got that one on. You don't have that one on your wall, I don't think, Mom. Do you want that picture of, uh, of Granny and those others? Yeah, anyway. Yeah,
Anyway.
that'd be good, Nate. To
That would be good for Paul too, because he lost all his pictures in the fire.
Yeah, that would be good. I'll have to. Well, we'll scan them and see, or scan it and see what we ship it around. But yeah, certainly finding a lot of old, still finding old ball pictures, Rose.
We scanned a whole bunch, me and Rita, and I gave some more out, but I don't know how to rescan myself, so I always have to depend on somebody else. So maybe Rita has a copy she could send over to you too, or you could send some to her and she can get them to me.
Yeah, and our scanner is it's gotten too old. It won't work with our new computer, so it's upstairs at the old computer. So it's a little. You can scan things and get it onto that computer. Then you got to put it on a stick and bring it around. So it's a little awkward.
I got a scanner here. Maybe I don't know it'll work.
Yeah. Anyway, we need another scanner whenever we can get around to it.
Yeah, I'll give it to Rita sometime or drop it off.
Yeah. Anyway, that's nothing much has happened. I just do a bit of exercise, and today is just a day at the computer, and working in the shop now and then. Hopefully this evening I'll be able to get in there and still doing a few building shelves inside to make things a little more neat and tidy. So and continue to get rid of old papers. I tell you, probably 20 boxes of paper have gone out the door, and we're getting down to it now. We've actually got some empty spaces here and there in the different shelves that we have around the house, and I've got a whole book house over there. It's 9 by 12 by 8, and it's still jam-packed with old file folders and that sort of stuff. So I have records of old the Chuchua News, and just interesting to see what was happening in 1985. You know, that period of time. Lots of community events, actually. You know, I think when we started handling the alcohol stuff, we had all kinds of committees. A school was going, and we had these community nights quite often, you know, like in the wintertime. And
What's about every week?
yeah, and with bingos, you know, and there was floor hockey and stuff. So there was a lot of effort put into, you know, just the socializing and doing positive things. And I can't remember the details, but you know, we got records of it, and we got quite a few photos as well, like especially the Naquaquilson School when it first started. I got a couple of old photos of the old band office when it was still in a trailer. So I don't know if if we're interested in keeping those kind of things up in, you know, getting a file of sort of the history of, you know, our facilities. There was another old photo of a log church down in Chukchukwalk. That would be in the late 1800s. It was a good sized log church, and there was about 20 people in front of it. So there's a fellow up river, I don't know where he lives, Little Fort or someplace. He's created a North Thompson history group, and he said he came across this somewhere, and so that's something that I've never seen a copy or a picture of that. I didn't even know there was, for sure, there was an old church down in the old Chukchukwal community, or the community site. So yeah, interesting.
yeah, actually, maybe I'll just go ahead and look for it here, because that was from that, what's his name? I know it Stone, Carson Stone, is that the one?
Yeah, that's his name.
Yeah, and I think they found there was some explorers that came through. I don't know if that was the same group, but they had some. I might have forwarded to you, but just continue there. I'm just going to see quickly if I can find that picture of that one from Chicxulub. What was it I was asking you, Nathan, about that picture? Somebody else looked at it and they thought it was somewhere else, but I think we decided that it was at Chicxulub because you can see the background in there.
Yeah, I think if you took that photo and took it down to Chicxulub, you could probably figure out pretty close where it was, because you could see the mountains in the background. They're very distinct. So maybe I'll do that one day.
Yeah, actually that would be yeah, so much to do, eh? Isn't it interesting, you know, how well, I guess we got the time now, you know, to do do this kind of thing.
I found another photo of a bunch of kids in the back of the cattle truck heading off to the residential school. And it was there was a real big bank, sloping bank, where they took the picture. There were some adults, but the truck was filled with, I don't know, 16 or 20 kids of different ages. And but I couldn't, it might not be Chuchua, because I don't know of any other place where they had that sort of that sloping bank along the old road. Maybe up by at this side of the old or the main village, there's some bank there, but nothing very tall. So it might be from some other community. But yeah, I'll keep coming across these photos. I have quite a number of old photos of the Kokalitsa that show patients and some of the workers and the nurses. So they're in good shape, and I thought maybe I should ship them off to Kokalitsa. I think they have a culture center there now. And I think maybe was Rena there for a while? Did
Yeah,
she
so
spend
was Christopher Donald. They put them in there, thought they had TB, and then they tested them and let them go after 2 months and TB and brought them home.
Oh yeah. Anyway, photos are pretty good. I like them.
Yeah, Rena was there for off and on. They tried to, she did actually come back, I don't know, maybe once or twice to Granny's, you know, and I was just talking about her about, you know, adapting to kind of the van lifestyle, and you know, about what she came from, and you know, she worked on crafts, but yeah, she was there, and then she was actually they tried to have her live out with companions, and at one point Rose Joyce was there with her, right?
Yeah, because we came to see her from the States, so that would have been in 68.
Yeah.
When she was there.
Yeah.
Yeah, anyway, well, I'll look up those pictures and for the next time. But there is that one, I don't know if you've seen it, Nathan, with Granny at the back of the truck. You can see clearly it's Granny. And Mom has named some of the people, you know, that were on the truck. And I believe, just off the top of my head, well, Eva, you can see Eva pretty clearly. And Yeah, Marie was just sending, or Marie and I were chatting about that, or maybe you were on too, Nathan, about Colton, who's been doing, his research seems to be expanding now to, or maybe it was some of mom and dad's history and education. If he's wanting to go into education. He hasn't decided yet, what I was asking him about, what specialties, if he was thinking about, any certain topics that he wanted to teach. I think he said history, but he's been doing this research and he was sending me questions, about mom and dad and about ourselves, like what motivated us to go into education. How did we all end up being teachers? And what was the last thing I was going to say? He sent a question and he said, I believe it was when were they at the Indian school, or how old were they? And yeah, so Mom, we were looking at that interview that you did with Celia Haig Brown, and she put it into a book. She called it Resistance and Renewal. And what she was looking for in that book was, I guess it would be, how did you survive there, and what did you take away, to be the person that you are now, that you had strength. I should go back and read the book again, but anyway, we were talking about how long you were there. You stayed, was it 2 extra years that you stayed there and kind of worked at the school or helped out? Do you remember that, Mom? Yeah. I'm pretty sure you told me that I think it was Father O'Grady asked, I don't know if he asked them or asked you or whatever, but I think you got Fred involved, and you had to get permission, to stay longer. So you stayed there longer because in the records it says you went in when you were 9. So I think you've talked about that. We still don't know what exactly month you were born. Mom thinks it was September, but in the records it was June, because when they asked her what year was she born, or asked Granny, I guess, and she said it was when certain kind of flowers were out. So, I guess in the days, people never had birthdays. I think Mom said was maybe when the priest came or the Indian agent came, they would, write down, the birth of new babies. So it must be a interesting way. I always think I don't know if there would have been any records there, but it was sad, when our records at Kamloops, all went missing. Maybe somebody's got some shed somewhere, Nathan. Like, do you remember that there was people from different communities that were going through the records? Anyway, yeah, so Mom was there. Rewrote the years down, and then Dad was there. I guess he must have been there the full 7 or 8 years. Did you remember that, Nathan?
No, all I know is when he was 16, they let him go. So I don't know I don't know when he went in there, but it seems that he was there when he was fairly young. Yeah, I found Dad's regiment number again, so I'm gonna start pursuing his military records just to get whatever they have on him, and I'm really interested. They probably have a photo of him somewhere in the system, right? that we've never been able to locate a photo of him in uniform. I know a lot of the guys that came back from Chuchua, you know, they brought their uniform with them, and so I guess they wore it around. But Dad, I've never seen one with Dad with his uniform. So I'll and I still have his medals, but I'm not sure, you know, what they really represent. He had some notes that we found, but it doesn't go into all the detail. So it would be good just to get sort of a little, again, a bit of a write up on different aspects of military career.
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah, man, you know, I guess there's probably, I was thinking, Nathan, in those interviews at the archives, that, you know, I don't know what, you know, is all in them. Even I'm going to contact Celia and ask her, you know, what happened. She must have did tapes. You know, I know that when I did my master's, I had, you know, I think it was 13 people I interviewed, and I gave most of them back. And I'm the same thing. I've got, you know, them in a box somewhere of the ones that I still have. And we were supposed to, I think we were supposed to destroy them, but I always thought to myself, it felt like, you know, because of course, you know, what I used out of the interviews for my master's was just such a little piece of, because I interviewed each one of them for about an hour, and some of them for 2 hours. I mean, you can't, you know, open somebody up and just sort of say, you know, what was it like to, you know, growing up and going to schools, you know, felt like, especially up here, because it was pretty common experiences. But anyway, yeah, that we're talking about having interviews and tapes and what's important. And yeah, I know, Rose, you got some tapes of Uncle Henry that
I
were
had
done.
signed for them over to the office, and then Audrey did it for me. That's the tape that I gave out for Christmas to the family. And also that Indian school, I'd love to see that picture, because Bobby and Eddie and I were used to have to climb and get loaded on there. Got up all the way to Kamloops on the back of those trucks. I can picture that for my archive. Yeah,
Right.
when we got back from Kamloops after leaving.
It must have been a long ride.
Oh God, the trees used to be right over the road. They grew right over the road, and the trees used to be hitting on the top of the truck and top of somebody's head. Yeah, it was quite the ride there. They're all cramped in there all the way to Kelms, full of dust and dirt when you got there.
Yeah, well, I was talking, Rose, about those interview with your dad that I think I didn't listen to the whole thing, but the part that I listened to was he was just talking about hunting.
Yeah.
So you know, there must be just, well, I don't know. You know, I saw some of the, well, I guess it was all of the archives that was done from the twin tracking. I think that was Nathan, that was when the interviewing was being done.
Yeah.
So anyway, I was wanting to, I don't know what they've all, you know, if they're still coding and everything down at the, our archives, there's some archives, but we could probably put in a request and get copies, you know, of those. Anyway,
So you just
yeah.
had form. And for Uncle Ernest, Aunt Ida and I got that done, and because she was the oldest of his sisters and brothers, and she was able to sign for me to get Ernest army stuff, so it really comes in handy. So that I was able to get a replica of the of the all the medicine stuff. So I still have all of that here.
Yeah. Yeah, well, um, I remember Mom has somewhere in her materials a letter from Uncle Ernest to her that he wrote, and I think we were figuring out at the time she might have been 16. I think she was still at the Indian school when he was, because that's the other thing is, like the timeline of whatever happened. Yeah, anyway, Mom, I don't know if that's something that, I guess we call it the old people would do now, would be sit around and reminisce about the past and, how things were. Sometimes when I hear people talking about things and I think about, little bits and pieces that, that you told us along the way, I just wanted to say something more because we talked about it the other day. There's always people are asking, how did we do it? How were things done? And yeah, just the memories, go back further than technology. And I guess I always say to people, I remember what you said one time to Granny, about Granny. She thought her water was not warm enough when she was getting a face wash, and you were rushing that day maybe to go shopping or something, and Dad was waiting outside, and you were trying to rush Granny, and Granny was kind of cranky, and she said the water wasn't or the water was not warm enough, I guess, for her face wash. And you said to her, yeah, your ancestors broke the ice and washed their face in the creek. And Granny said to you, yeah, that's why they're all dead. So, that's it. Sometimes, the other word was shoot, when people are making up stories, but I just think to myself, sometimes when we've been chatting, talking about, we had a little visit at Christmas. Mark organized the family visit on Zoom, and he set up these, these games, I guess, or these activities, and he did a kind of like a classroom. I get Mark's got teaching background, teaching experience, Nathan. Anyway, he put us into these, or facilitating, put us in these rooms on Zoom, and we were just given a topic to talk about. And so I got put in a discussion with Mike. I've sort of, through the years, I've communicated with Mike off and on. And so we just kind of carried on. I can't remember what the conversation was, but how good it is. So I was talking about our ancestors. And I think one of the things that you said one time was we were talking about how life was. And you said, what did you say? Something like, yeah, they crawled out of the ground, into the snow when they had pit houses. So I imagine some of those things that, maybe were still talked about when you were growing up, that in Merritt, they have a story somewhere, picture of a pit house, I think, or they were a description of it. And it was, I think they said 20 by 20. So that's pretty, no, it wasn't 20, maybe it was 20 by 20. I don't know if you've seen that, Nathan. Anyway, I think they said 19 people lived in that pit house. That was the last known inhabited pit house. And I was just thinking about, again, that if I ever feel like chilly or something, and I just think about what you said, yeah, your ancestors crawled out of the ground into the snow. And I was watching Mary Thomas has a video about underground homes, and she does a description. And when we were writing that book for the Shuswaps, we are the Shuswaps for the curriculum. Our writer, she was Sama. We gave her all of our interviews, and well, she came and met with us quite a few times to try and get a sense of what that was like, to live, I guess, 200 years ago, 150 years ago, before the Europeans came. And she went down to the pit house. They made a replica in the museum in Victoria, and she would go down. They gave her permission to go sit down in that pit house and do some writing. So, trying to imagine, I guess, I know now a person can't even really figure it out unless you've been there. That would have been, we always talk about tourism experience for people to, to go and see what it was like to live 150 years. Maybe that's what we should be. We could be doing with our young people now. They think it was hard. This would be a good time.
I gotta go.
Yeah. Okay. Well, good to talk to you, Nathan. We're just
Hey,
going on
Mom.
talk here.
We'll see you next week,
Sitting
Mom.
out
You have a good day. Matt Wixton.
there. Okay, Scott. Yeah. Well, were you going to say something, Rose?
Yeah, I was gonna show her. And Ina, can you see this? Can you see the bugs, the gloves?
Oh, you have to put it in front of your, put it up further, Rose.
Further?
There we go. Yeah. Look at Mom.
I copied Granny's. I'm making some more. Then I have making some mugs, and I'll show you. Can you see it, Auntie?
Yeah.
Oh, lots of work. I got one more I'll show you. I didn't
nice.
finish yet.
Yeah.
Big roses on it for my grandkids. Yeah.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
So I still do that kind of stuff. I still make angels, and I still make moccasins, dream catchers, all of the things you and Granny and Mom taught me. I still do those things. You must miss all of that. Yeah. So it's so good to see you today. Maybe next time we'll have Dad's tape ready and we can let you listen to his voice. You can hear him telling stories about all the old days when he was young, when all the white people came in what year, all across the river. He's got lots of stories about hunting with old Isaac, how Isaac taught him lots of things after his dad died. Yeah, so that was really good tape.
So Isaac, Mom, that was Sammy's dad, right?
Yeah,
Was that Isaac Joseph? Yeah. Yeah.
old Isaac.
Yeah.
Yeah, Dad was only 10 when his dad died.
Yeah.
Old Isaac took over and showed him how to do the hunting. Now all the way down to the grandkids do hunting.
Yeah. So tell Mom Rose how many grandkids and great grandkids you got.
Oh my God, I don't even know how to count them anymore. I must have about at least 20 grandkids and maybe 10 great grandkids and maybe I think two great grandkids. I'm going to be 80 this year. Getting old. Yeah. One of my oldest daughters is going to be 60 this year. Wow. It's just like, where have the years gone? Yeah.
Yeah.
All new babies. I didn't see some of the new babies yet. I had made baby Bogsons too. I just sent them in the mail.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, mom was, remember you were mom knitting gloves, little mittens, and I think we were talking about, you had a plan for giving them out. So I don't know how many. I've still got I think 3 sets in my drawer. I keep it with my sock drawer. So I gave one set to Raelle, Nathan's granddaughter. But I was thinking somehow, speaking of granddaughters, I don't, I think our men or boys outnumber the girls in the family still. And I always remember when Deanna was born, and you asked me, "Are you gonna have just what did you say? You're gonna have just one girl?" I said, we were talking about kids, and you said, "Are you gonna have any more kids?" You said to me. Maybe you're thinking I already had too many. Anyway, and you said, "Are you gonna have just one girl?" And I said, "Yeah." And yeah, anyway, almost same thing that Deanna's grandma said. Well, she was, one of the first grandkids. Deanna was first grandkids. We had the first grandkids in the family, I think. But yeah, it's hard to imagine today. I remember when people used to bring babies to see Granny. And they would, of course, I guess we used to do baptisms back then. And yeah, so anyway, speaking of grandkids, just about to 11, they're probably going to come on pretty soon. How are things going down there, Dee? How's Brighton doing?
He's doing good. He's staying home more. He doesn't want to go out as much. But he's doing good. He hasn't had too many more problems with his stomach. Once in a while he gets a little bit of pain, but it hasn't been bad enough that he's wanted to go to the hospital. But he's wandering around again and talking a lot. He's started collecting movies again. So he's so excited. Just one more, just one more, just one more. But yeah, he's good. We saw Teresa and Aaron yesterday. Yesterday was Daniel's birthday. So we bought Daniel's cake for him for his birthday. And then we bought her son Aaron's birthday's on Thursday. So we bought his present yesterday too. And he was excited to see him. Aaron's got really long hair. And he was telling Aaron, "Your hair looks so cool," because he's got it braided. So but he keeps himself busy. He doesn't mind not going out so much anymore now. So that's nice. In the beginning, it was driving him crazy because he was so used to going out like every day. And it's been, I think Thursday, maybe was the last time he went out into a store. So other than that, we just go for drives. Yeah. Just keeps himself busy with other things now. His sleep schedule is still upside down. He stays up all night pretty much and sleeps most of the day. So he wakes me up quite a bit during the night too. But Tim's good too. He's keeping himself busy. He's been doing some work in the shop. I don't even know what he's doing out there. I haven't gone out to look. That I'm letting him have his space out there. But he's every once in a while I hear like a thumping coming from out there or some power tools. So and the Tupperware thing's keeping me pretty busy. I think in 13 days I've had over 2,000 in sales. So that's keeping me pretty busy. I keep getting behind on my paperwork though. But it's usually just my paperwork, not everybody else's. But
I see you're having trouble with the couriers too. Are the orders getting them in, or how's
well,
that? going?
Tupperware all comes through Pure Later. And Pure Later's, well, for the most part, they're pretty good. But I've had packages misconnecting flights and delayed due to the pandemic. I have more problems from my packages from Amazon for Brighton than through Pure Later. So, but they're really backlogged on a lot of stuff and shipping items out from Tupperware. So, but they're getting a little better. So that's nice. People aren't having to wait like 12 weeks for their order anymore. So they're starting to come in a bit faster. Which is
How are
nice.
Go ahead.
How are the what?
How are the cats doing?
They're doing good. They're getting bigger. They're still fighting like crazy, chasing each other up and down the hallways. And I bought them one of those drinking fountains, and they're really not that interested. I bought it to try and keep them out of the toilet because they keep drinking from the toilet, but they still go to the toilet most of the time to drink out of there rather than the fountain. They weren't
to do that too.
They weren't drinking out of their bowls, their water bowls. So I figured, well, I'll try this, but it's not making much of a difference. At least the water is continually there for them, and they have
Yeah.
somewhere.
Are you? So do they go outside? Like you're obviously not running away.
Yeah, the oldest one goes out like all night sometimes. But the two younger ones, I make them come in all the time still at night because they're only about 6 months old maybe. And they've had like the different wildlife around here and just even some of the other cats and dogs in the neighborhood. I don't want them out there all night. They're not big enough yet to defend themselves. Because I think Tim showed me a picture of a cougar or something just down closer to the band office that somebody took. So I'm like, if these cats are outside, they better learn how to run fast and have a really good place to hide. But yeah, they're getting bigger.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Oh no, the one is I think she was taken too young from the mother because she keeps like coming right up to me and like trying to suck on my shirt. So I think she was still taken too young from the mother, but I figure my older cat doesn't do that anymore, so I know at some point she'll quit.
Well, it's just your shirt.
Yeah, just talking about um, cats reminds me of, I don't remember. It was just, I guess, chickens, that um, we used to have to be on the watch if there was I remember that, well, at our house, but up at Granny's too, we are always told to watch out for hawks. I don't remember eagles as much, but if hawks came, around the chicken house, then we had to throw rocks to try and get them away from the chickens. I'm sure that they, must have been times. I don't remember a story, but I know there's another story I won't put on here because, Rose, we generally record these and put it on for the for our family, for the kids. I would say that's one of the ways to to be in touch with each other. And anyway, yeah, I'm so tempted to tell a story about somebody in the family, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, I won't tell that story. But I remember that, even at our house in Chinook Cove, it'd be all this excitement if there was a hawk flying around, so we'd be out there, chasing or picking up rocks to throw at the hawk if it came around. And also, I was just thinking about throwing rocks. We used to, at night, we'd throw rocks or sticks just at dusk, and the bats would come and chase it. So we had bats around, and I guess they say that's supposed to be part of the environment, but I remember we were always scared of them, and I I guess I heard it from places, but I always tell Rose mom about Joyce was a good person. She would always have little bits of advice, about things or things, about. Anyway, I remember about the bats. There was a story, and I don't know, probably a true story about somebody. They were teasing the bats or the whatever. Anyway, the bat came down and got stuck in their hair. So that was always the excitement, when you look at what young people do today, to have risk or challenge in their life. That was one of our excitement was to throw rocks or sticks up so the bats would fly around. And I remember above the church and up in Chuchu, up in the village, sometimes you'd see the bats. They kind of swarm around and then they go into the attic in the church at night. So that was, something else. Once in a while, if you remember, a bat would go into the church, or a bird. Remember when birds would get into the church, and I'm sure. I guess I remember. I think Granny being there, and probably I think maybe swishing a towel or apron or linen of some kind around, trying to get the darn birds out of the church. And I remember at least one time, I think, where we had to leave it in there. And just wondering, I just think to myself now, about kids and what they think. I think I was thinking to myself, what if it's still there when we have church? But Harold and I were talking the other day, about how realistically, I don't know how many years that, because it would have been from when Mom was young. Nathan was talking about the church at Chictaquac, and how it was such a central force, I guess, in our lives. So yeah, that, and the other thing they would talk about, I guess this time of year now, Mom, you would remember that you know, whatever you had stored up, you know, from the previous year, you would be getting low on stuff, I guess, you know, on food in your, I don't even know where Granny must have had storage. I remember she had that cupboard where she used to put things, but, you know, Mom told a story also, you know, about, I guess, I don't know when that would be, when the sap started. Or no, it wasn't when the sap started. It was going and gathering that moss off the trees. I don't know which kind of trees it was. Um, do you remember, Mom, which trees she took the moss off the trees and she took it and put it in a frying pan, and then it heated up and it made kind of like a licorice, and then she would take it and cut it up and give the kids, you know, something. And that was, I guess, Mom, I don't know, you must have had a word in Shuswap for that. Starvation food, they call it in the history books. That when people were running out of food, you know, through the winter, that they would start to, you know, to supplement their food with whatever was out there. And mom talk about, you know, who was the best when they had the winter dances and the giveaways, and who was the tastiest, made the tastiest dried gopher was old Catherine. And, you know, how people, you know, would be all excited when Catherine was going to have her giveaway because she had lots of different things. And one of the things, I'm sure it's somewhere in the interviews, I was, you know, maybe next time I drive to Barrie, I'll take a picture there. But up above the clay cuts, and then just above, I guess it used to be called Watts Farm, somebody else owns it now. Some people, Mom said, used to camp up there or live up there during the whole summer, I guess maybe spring into summer, and do all their hunting and trapping, snaring, I guess, up there. So I guess they, you know, you would gather whatever your specialty items were, and then save that up and then trade it off for the winter, maybe for the people that traveled up to up the valley, up, you know, to Raft River and Blue River, you know, however far they went to get back berries and whatever was available up there. So anyway, Harold, I invited Harold to be on again today, but I think I'll talk some more to him. I think people get nervous. Greg was supposed to come on too, Mom. Greg was going to, he said that he would sing you a song and drum for a song for you. So I'm gonna catch him and see if I can get him on the Facebook and sing you a song. There's so many people. I was thinking, you know, I guess you know, Mom, about all the people that you've known through all the years. You know, some are gone and some are still around. But just lately, two that come to my mind of people that wanted to make sure and say hello to you was Evelyn Camille. So Evelyn Camille said to say white Gaida. And of course, all the Billies over there, I'm on their family Facebook page. Some of them are saying hi to you because that's the children of, oh gosh, what was her name?
Irene?
Evelyn's sister.
Irene.
Anyway, and then Felicity sent a message, you know, to say hello. And she's, I invited her to come on and say hello. So I think some people are nervous to, I guess, to do this, you know, to put your face in front of a camera. It gets a little bit easier as as the time goes on, you know, to just talk. I sometimes, you know, Mom, we get our family even on here, and they just give their little spiel, and then, you know, I always tell my story about Granny. You know, Granny could just love to talk, Grandpa too. But you remember that, you know, when we'd be driving away and Granny'd be still talking, and we'd be leaving and Granny's still talking. I think all our family was like that, eh? Loved storytelling, you know. It's funny when you think about visiting people. I know that, you know, if I went to see your dad and Mom Rose, you never had to worry about what you were gonna say, you know, or if there was that family gatherings going on, we always seemed like we had something to talk about, and they were good storytellers, and, you know, conversationalists, and, you know, always had, you know, some, you know, good things to say. There wasn't, I don't remember like gossip, or it was just, you know, stories about what was going on, and, you know, if somebody was building a new woodshed or skeka or something, you know, I remember those. But yeah, anyway, so those are the people that come to my mind. Can you think of anybody else, Rose, that we've been talking? Do you seem like there's so many, that send a message of hello to Mom?
Yeah, it's hard to remember after a while, and especially when we don't even know what day it is or what month. Or I think I think we know now it's 2021, but yeah, there's a lot of people that always want to say hello to her, ask how she's doing.
Yeah. Well,
Often.
I'll tell you, I put a message from you, Mom, on what, you know, what we call Facebook, and lots of people, they can come on there and see, you know, what different people write. It's kind of like replacing that old moccasin telegraph, and they tell you things, what's going on in their country and whatever. But uh, when I put, people were asking about you, you know, especially when this COVID virus came on. And so I put a message up on the Facebook, and it's, people keep, well, at first there was, I don't know, 50 something people on there. And now, I don't know, Dee, we're talking about Mom, the comment about Mom on Facebook. I think there was maybe up in the 60s, eh? And of people wanting to send you a message. So there's at least 60 people. A lot of them now are children and grandchildren of, you know, the people that got to know you, you know, like the Camilles and the Billies and the Michelles, and you know, all of those families that you went to school with maybe, or you got to know them through the years. Anyway, they're all sending messages. But one of the funny things that happened, I thought you know, you would have a laugh about this, that it got what they call bumped. Somebody responded to one, okay, 2 minutes. Yeah, but I can't read it. Bath
We
time,
can't
I'm
hear you.
sure it says.
Bath
Yeah.
time.
Okay, so anyway, okay, Mom, guess we have to go. Yeah, I see it.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, you're gonna go have
Okay,
a bath.
guess we have to go.
Bye.
So
Just say bye-bye.
we'll talk to you next week or sooner.
Love you.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Okay,
Good to
say
see
bye,
you.
Dee.
Bye.
Bye.
Yeah,
Okay.
Aw.
week's
Okay,
night.
bye, everybody.
Bye.
I'll finish my story next time.